Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Najma Dina. I'm from XII Science 4. In this video, I will explain about the procedure text to fulfill my English examination. Let's get it. Procedure text. What is the definition of the procedure text? Procedure text is a text that explains or help us how to make or use something. There are three types of definitions from procedure text. The first, procedure text is the text that explains how something works or how to use instruction or operation manuals, such as how to use video, how to use the computer, how to use the tape recorder, etc. The procedure text is also the text that instructs how to do a particular activity, such as recipes, rules for games, science experiment, etc. The procedure text is also the text that deal with human behavior, such as how to live happily, how to success, etc. Then, what is the social function of the procedure text? The social function of procedure text is to explain or tell the reader how to make or operate or do something through a sequence of actions or steps, or to explain steps or instruction, or to make or operate or do something. Every text certainly has its own generic structures. Then, what are the generic structures of procedure text? There are three generic structures that procedure texts have. The first is the goal or the aim. The goal or the aim is usually found in the title of the procedure text. The second is materials or ingredients. These sections describe what materials or ingredients and items are needed to achieve the goal. And the last structures is steps or methods. This section describes the work steps or manufacturing steps so that the goals can be achieved using the materials that have been listed. Procedure text also has language features. Then, what are the language features in the procedure text? There are 5 language features that must be present in the procedure text. The first is procedure text use adverbial of sequence or using temporal conjunction, such as first, second, third, then, and last. The second is procedure text use command or imperative sentence, such as put the noodle, cut the onion, wash the tomatoes, don't cook too long, etc. The third is procedure text using adverbials to express detail the time, place, and manner occurred. For example, 5 minutes, 2 hours, for about 30 minutes, etc. The fourth is procedure text using action verbs such as make, take, boil, cook, etc. And the last is procedure text using simple present tense. Here is an example of procedure text. In order to understand more about procedure text, let's dissect the generic structure and the language features of procedure text. Let's discuss the generic structure first. Let's start with the title first. It was explained earlier that the title of the procedure text is the goal of the text. So, how to make fruit ice is the goal of the text. In the procedure text, we need a list of materials or items needed in order to achieve the goal. So from this text, what is included in the materials or ingredients section is the list of materials, which are marked with green brackets. And the last, the part of working steps which are marked with purple brackets is included in the steps or method sections. Okay, earlier we discussed the generic structure of procedure text, so now we will discuss the language features. Well, here have marked some words or sentence using different colors. We will discuss what the meaning of these colors. The first one, which is marked in red, like first, then, next, and last, in the language features of the procedure text is included in temporal conjunction. The second one, which is marked in blue, like cut the fruits, scratching the flesh of a melon in the language features of the procedure text is included in common or imperative sentence. The third one, which is marked in green, like for about 30 minutes, in the language features of the procedure text is included in adverbials to express detailed time required. The fourth one, which is marked in yellow, like boil, pour, put in the language features of the procedure text, is included in action verbs. And the last one, which is marked in purple, like put the decoration on the glass with a piece of strawberry on it, in language features of the procedure text is included in simple present tense. Well, earlier we discussed the material of the procedure text. Now, we will discuss the question and answer about the procedure text based on the example earlier. The question number 1 is what the text about. When we get a question about what the text is about, we just look for the title because what is X is the purpose of the text, which can be seen in the title section. The right option is A, how to make fruit ice, because the title telling us about how to make fruit ice. B is the wrong option because the text doesn't tell us about how to make lemon soup. C is also the wrong option because the ingredients of fruit ice, it doesn't include the goal but the materials needed, while the question is about the goal of the text. D is also the wrong option because the text doesn't tell us about how to cut fruit. And E is also the wrong option because the text doesn't tell us about how to boil sugar water. So the right option is A, how to make fruit ice. The question number 2 is which following procedure is true. When we get a question like this, we need to find out which procedures are correct. Here all the answers options are about steps, so we just focus on the right steps. Option A is wrong option because what is scratched is the flesh of melon, not the jackfruit. Option B is wrong option because what is cooked is sugar water, not milk. Option C is wrong option because the fruit is cut round or diced, not siphoned. Option D is right option because in the text in the second step, it is explained that we have to scratch the flesh of melon. Option E is totally wrong option because to make fruit ice, we need ice cups. So the right option is D, scratching the flesh of melon. The question number 3 is, the following are methods of making a fruit ice, except, because here it says that we have to look for the wrong method, we need to look at the method sections. Option A is wrong option because boil sugar with water until cooked is the correct method. There is third method. Option B is wrong option because put the decoration on the glass is the correct method, that is the last method. Option C is right option because chop fruits is wrong method. The correct method is cut the fruits round or dice. Option D is wrong option because cut the fruits round or dice is the correct method. That is the first method. Option E is wrong option because put ice cubes is the correct method. That is the fifth method. So the right option is C, chop fruits. The question number 4 is, which of the following language features adverbials is? Option A is wrong option because cut the fruits is common or imperative sentence. Option B is right option because for about 30 minutes is adverbials to express detail the time. Option C is wrong option because pour the sugar water is common or imperative sentence. Option D is totally wrong option because what is boiling is sugar water, not sugar milk. And this is included in the common or imperative sentence, not adverbials. Option E is wrong option because put the decoration on the glass is common or imperative sentence. So the right option is B for about 30 minutes. The question number 5 is how much ingredients are needed to make fruit ice based on the text. When we get question like this, we just need to calculate the list of ingredients or materials. So let's go back to the text first. Here the list of ingredients is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the right option is E. Option A, B, C, D is totally wrong. Maybe that's all I can explain. Less and more please forgive. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.